Chris Daughtry covering Bad Omens. Now, I'm a fan of both of these vocalists, but Noah Sebastian and Chris Daughtry are very different vocalists with very different tendencies and ranges and techniques. Daughtry's style and vocal approach has gotten heavier lately, but I see this going one of two ways. It's a poor imitation of a song he's a big fan of, or he's able to take it in a direction that only he could take it. Also, I do have an additional interest here. He used my vocal processing plugins on this cover, so I'm really interested to hear how it came out.
I made another mistake, thought I could change, thought I could make it out. Promises break me to hear you say you're gonna keep it now. Almost the way you say my name, the way you bend, the way you break. You make them running down your face, the way you touch, the way you taste.
This is a new sound for Daughtry. Noah's eerie head voice delivery on the original makes you so uneasy, in part because you know of where he's capable of going. But I haven't heard Chris Daughtry lean into his head voice quite like this before. I'm really anxious to see where he goes with it and how he builds the contrasts that we know in the original.
When the curtains call the time, will we both go home alive? It wasn't hard to realize. Love's the death of peace of mind.
Excellent, bringing in all that weight. That's hard to do. Notice when I'm doing that, there's a very distinct break, but he's leaning into the consonants, he's leaning into the lyrics, and he's blending his registers here, adding weight in his chest, bringing in a little bit of grit, but preserving that floaty head voice tone really well.
When the curtains call the time, will we both go home alive?
Will we both go home alive? You see how I used the G to transfer between registers, between head voice and chest voice? Both go home. Leaning into that G allowed me to seamlessly add way more weight to that lower note while preserving the character I have up here. No awkward cracks.
When the curtains call the time, will we both go home alive?
Yep.
It wasn't hard to realize. Love's the death of peace of mind. You're in the walls that are made with crosses and frames, hanging upside down. Great
Upside down. Is he in head voice that whole time?
death of peace of mind. You're in the walls that are made with crosses and frames, hanging upside down. Greater than
Yeah, he's got a much lower voice, a lower vocal disposition than Noah Sebastian. Down, down, down. I totally would have leaned into my chest voice there more, but he's trying to keep the dynamics distinct and really build it. The fact that he can be stable, down, down, in his head voice on that note, that's pretty impressive. That's hard to do.
death of peace of mind. You're in the walls that are made with crosses and frames, hanging upside down. Greater than vain, I took everything I ever cared about. I miss the way you say my name, the way you bend, the way you break. You make them running down your face, the way you fight, the way you taste. When the curtains call the time, will we both go home alive?
Oh, I never really thought it before, but that's the key to delivering this melody well, is going back and forth between your registers to preserve that dynamic, but leaning into those transitions with consonants in order to do so.
Fight the way you taste. When the curtains call the time, will we both go home alive? It wasn't hard to realize. Love's the death of peace of mind. When the
Mine. I like that little.
peace of mind. When the curtains call the time.
Let's see where this goes. I do want to point out a little break here. Such a neat, absolutely a Daughtryism. Lots of other great singers do this too, where he leans in and then sighs out of that leaning in. Right there. Satisfied. And there again. All right, now this next section really is where I'm wondering, like, how is this going to go? Because it's so far removed, the original, from what we normally are used to from Daughtry.
You come and go in waves, leaving me in your wake. You come and go in waves.
So his performance sounds amazing right here. Also, I have to say, the effects, the use of the delays and the reverbs, the way his voice is present but still wet. The production sounds amazing. He used my new voice plugins for this track. So he recorded, he tracked with them, he mixed with them. That's really exciting. My plugins that I made on this track. And they sound great. If you'd like to get more information about those and try them out for your own vocal recordings, click the link in the description or pinned comment below. Okay.
Are you satisfied?
Okay.
Love's the death of peace of mine.
Whoo! So yes, he didn't try to imitate. He made it totally his own. But there's this middle ground that he got to where, especially with that last scream, I have not heard something that voiceless from him, that aggressive, that raw. His approach here is taking me away from the bent to compare to the original because he's adding his own melodic sense. He's still really aggressive. He's using some nice grit, but he's created his own moment here in tribute to the original, not imitating or trying to strive for the original, which is what I'm always telling people to do and what I'm always trying to do when I cover a song. And that is like, don't try to approach the original singer because they wrote that song for their own voice. Be inspired by it, draw from it, and then do what you do well over the song. That's exactly what he's doing here. And he's pushing himself at the same time to do things he hasn't really done before in a recording, inspired by Noah Sebastian. Yes, yes, yes.
Are you satisfied? Love's the death of peace of mine.
I love that we still hear pitch. There might be some overdubs in there too that we're hearing pitch-wise, but we got this wonderful, consistent, meaty, semi-voiceless sounding scream, but we still have the la in there, which is, it's great. He really tied that aggression together with the melody that he'd emphasized and put in there in this heavy part.
It wasn't hard to realize.
I just love his tone. I've loved it for literally decades. I like that he's got this lower, richer disposition. And so when he gets up there in his upper belty chest voice, there's just this wonderful, vulnerable, bellish sound. He can make it aggressive and gritty, and he does. But at the same time, it's still this pure underlying sound. It's a rare thing to be both like clean and dirty at the same time, and he pulls that off so well. I mean, that note is totally clean, but with the size out and the approach in, a little bit of grit on the beginning. Yeah. Tempo lock delay. That's cool. The way that he paid tribute to the original performance without imitating it. The way that he added to it with his own strengths. And the production sounded pretty good too. Thanks for watching. If you would like to learn more about the plugins that Chris Daughtry used on this recording, I made them. Click the link below in the pinned comment or video description and try them out for yourself. See if they enhance your creativity and bring all sorts of new vocal textures out in your own voice. And if you'd like to see me apply the same sorts of methods that Chris Daughtry's doing here for this cover to a cover that I've done of Sleep Token's The Summoning, check out this video.